What is good, Pyros? I am in the middle of fusing up what I want to shoot on Labor Day. Got a little pile of stuff, and I figured I would do a quick video of how exactly I do the fusing and what exactly tools I use to get it going. So we'll make this video right quick. Alright, so I do in fact have a firing system, as many of you guys probably do. The game is advancing and everybody's buying firing systems and whatnot. And there's so many on the market that and it doesn't really matter. I shoot off the R2 with an 18M module. It doesn't really matter what you shoot with. So I have a pile of stuff that I plan to shoot on Labor Day. Not exactly all of that, but most of it. But you see, that one's already fused up, that one's already fused up, that one's already fused up. This one's fused up, that one's fused up, this one. I gotta get that one. And this one's fused up. So I was just gonna do a quick little video on how exactly I do the singles. My module has 18 Qs, so I got 18 Qs I can fill up. And this is kind of how I do my single cakes and also shells. I'll include a shell video in this as well, to get them to go up exactly when you want them and without the amount of fails that some shit takes place with. So I'll get set up. These are the tools you're gonna need. You need a pair of scissors, any kind, don't matter. You need a knife, any kind, don't matter. You need a razor blade, any kind, don't matter. And then you need a poke. This one's kind of wore out, so it's time for a new one. I'll get a new one right quick. And that's wooden. You're gonna need some type of non-sparking material, such as brass. They sell awls, AWAL, which are pokes. Probably work better than these, but these are fairly cheap, so it doesn't matter. Then you're gonna need a initiator, and then if you're firing multiple cakes, you're gonna need some fast fuse. And then probably the most important thing besides the actual product is you do need some Dave's Magic Tape, which is from U-Haul. So that's what you need. And then of course the product. So we're gonna fuse Mafia Boss up, and Mafia Boss is gonna go on the firing system on some point, and you shall see the when you see it fire. We prepped it right here in this video. Nice. Alright, so you see this is a kebab stick I get from the grocery store. It's pretty much wore out, so we're probably gonna retire it. There's two more of them. We can use those. You get so many of them for the cheap. I mean, yeah, buy all, and I have bought all, and I mean, goddamn if I know where it is. But it is what it is. We always adapt, and you see that's a actual thicker one. And these come from my local grocery store, fairly cheap, and they will poke holes in cakes. So let me get set up, and we shall get this cake ready to rock and roll. Alright, primarily for this we are going to need a razor blade, possibly a knife, we don't necessarily know, a poke. We're not going to need fuse. We are in fact going to need a initiator, which I have that pulled aside, and some Dave's Magic Tape. That's all we need. Identify where it goes in. You see I've already exposed the fuse. So you're going to use your razor blade, and I can feel the fuse going down. The trick is you need to find where the fuse goes into the cake. So this one goes down, right? So let's cut it, and well, let's see. It's right there. So And sometimes you may have to like do some real surgery because you may have to get way back in there to find out. A lot of times there'll be an outer layer to a cake and you'll think it's going in. No, no, no. You have to verify it's going into the tube to get this method right. That's why you're setting yourself up for fails. It's a window cake, so it is where it is, which you can kind of see. But some cakes fool you. You think you're going in the tube and you're not, because all you did was cut the wrapper off. You didn't actually expose where it's going in. So I'll give you a quick look here. Let me get that peeled away. So that's the first layer, getting the wrap peeled away, and then you see there's multiple other layers we got to cut away. So here we go. This is why I said scissors. Now this one has no tape or wire. Sometimes they have wire. You've got to follow this fuse all the way down where it goes in, because a lot of times there'll be tape here, there might be a piece of steel wire, there could be any number of things in the way of taking this into the cake, which we're not using this, but I need it exposed because I've got to get the MJG into the cake. So you get it kind of an example of what I'm talking about as far as what all has to be cut away. Now I think it goes in right here, but even still, I'm showing you. All right, we've got where it pretty much goes in exposed, and how we know that is the tube is right there. So if you wanted to, you could run your finger down. So you know you got to break through this layer of which actually no, is right there. I've already cut that away. So the tube is right there. That is the tube. That's where it goes in. So we need to make that hole bigger without messing with this. You could technically pull this out, but who wants to do that? I like to keep a backup because fails do happen. So I'm gonna show you with this, just a cheap damn kebab stick. Go in right there where the fuse goes in. This has to be sparking. You cannot use metal because you may start a fire, which not a fire but an explosion. So we're gonna go in right there, make the hole bigger so we can fit the E-match in, and still leave that right there as a backup in case, you know, the E-match fails. Alright, so it's poked, right? So how do you know it's poked? You remember bottoms of shells a lot of times have red clay in them. Lift sometimes is black or gray. So, you know, you want, a lot of times you'll feel it. You'll feel, which I'm not feeling clunks. But I see there's gray on that. And you see the tip wore off already. So you definitely want the all. But I don't necessarily need one. And you see the hole is bigger. That's right in where that fuse goes. So what goes next? Boom. MJG initiator. Now I can't do it with one hand. Here we go. There it is, exposed. That is going to go in the hole. But you also want to be careful because this itself is like a match head. It can ignite when you're sticking it in there. So you want to be, it ain't got to go far. It just got to go enough in. It's like that right there. That's in. Then I will take this, run it up to the hole. That's in there. That's ready to fire. What do I do next? Alright, so that's in there, right? I bring that all the way down. I'll leave this at a 90. It's clearly in there. So we're going to take our first piece of tape, push that below it, or above it, it don't really matter. Just to lock it in. I like to enclose the entire area that I cut open. Just in case I structurally damage the cake, I like to tape it all up. And this cake is a fan, so this is the way it would be pointed. 44 shots. So that's that way. Remember, we're leaving that out, so we want to cover this and we want to cover that. Boom. So you see, I put a piece above, a piece below, the piece that's tying the E-match into the or initiator, excuse me, E-match is 1.3, into the hole. Remember, I poked it directly in. I'm only using this fuse as a backup. So there's 3 pieces of tape, all the fires contained, and if I structurally damage the cake, everything's taped back up, so there's no issues. I left me a plan B if the shit should happen. And then I follow up the wire and I put a break in case anything happens. This is short wire, so, and I'm the only one doing the lighting, so it's no big issue or anything. But this way it's E-matched. Left the fuse exposed, God forbid. And you saw I poked the hole, ran the fuse all the way in. I poked the hole with non-sparking material. I use wood. You might want to use brass. I sometimes use brass. There's another one, piece of tape on it. That one's got a tape on it. That one's got tape on it. The one below it's got tape on it. That one's got tape. So, you know, I just tape it just for the hell of it. I don't want to rely on anything jacking this wire up out of here, so we put the break in it. And then I'll fold up the wire and stuff it in the tube. Boom. There you go. Ready to go. Throw it on the cue of the Cobra and you're good to go. This is ready to fire. If anything fails, I've left fuse exposed. So I might be standing 60 feet, 100 feet back with the remote. I might just keep somebody, you know, down by where we're shooting. So if anything fails, they know which numbers we're on. They can just run up and hit the fuse or whatever failed. So now I'll show you a little quick way to fuse up canister shells so they go up when you want them to go up. Alright, quickly. So you probably might want to get your shells to go up exactly when you want them to go up. Maybe you're doing a pyro musical or you just want to time your shit. Obviously your 1.3s come with E-ports. Your consumer shells do not. This is a Thunder Nation shell from Major League Pyro. So if you wanted to get this to go up exactly when you wanted it to go up, boom, you don't have to unwrap it like I did. You could attach the E-match right there, but the timing will be off. What you want to do is the same concept. Make that hole a little bit bigger. Run your E-match straight into that. Expose the E-match like I did on the cake and stick it in there. You clearly want to do this shit outside in case there's any sparking. And then if you were going to shoot the rest of the shells off of this, then you can just connect the rest of them to this, because when this goes, it's going to light this, which would go to that, and then your other shells and fuse strip would go to that. Or if you were just doing, let's say you had a module or two just for canister shells, you would just E-match them and press them, write down what it is that you wanted to go up. So this is brocade and crackling. So if there was a point in the show I wanted brocade and crackling, then I would label this, let's say 3 out of an 18 shot module, and I would press 3. If this was a different effect and I wanted it at a different point, I would label 4 or 5. As long as that E match is in there, this is going to go off the second you press the button. None of the delay connecting it to the fuse. Like that is going to be a delay because the fuse has got to go. But if you wanted to, you would just expose that, make that hole bigger, boom, instant fire. So that's for the guys that want to start building shows and stuff like that. I'm gonna go ahead and recover that up because I don't want my E-match exposed. There we go. Because actually I probably will fire it that way and then run the fuse to the other 5 because I got a 6-pack off of this, and we'll see if that actually works. But at least now you see, because I've got a 18Q remote. I'm gonna fill all 18 Qs for Labor Day, and I'm gonna fire them one after another. So it'll be like a show. Of course, it's gonna get broke up into demos, but that's kind of how I do it. And you'll, like I said, you'll see I do all of them like that, and it's already coming handy on the 4th to just leave that exposed. But run your, gotta make the hole a little bit bigger, and then put your brake on it, run it down in the tube, and it's good to go until you get ready to use it. Like I said, there's another one, precious metals. That one's ready. Everything's ready to go except my doubles. The doubles, I got a few separate. Doubles I do a little bit different. I run fast fuse into the hole on both holes, tape the cakes together, and then I bring fast fuse out and run the initiator off a piece of fast fuse that's going to go into the 2 fast fuse. Just make sure each piece of fast fuse is the same length. And that's basically how I do it. Tried and true, been doing it for years. I didn't start shoot fireworks last year. So yeah, most definitely nice. Cool. Appreciate you looking at it. Pyros. July the 4th is past. We on to Labor Day and New Year's.